When I first heard that Emily was diagnosed with diabetes, it's a feeling of helplessness. As a parent, you want to always be able to make them better and fix things, and it's the first thing that you ever heard of that you cannot fix. I ask myself why every single day.
So I will fight this good fight
Every day. I think maybe she'll become a nurse or a doctor or a medical researcher or a diabetes educator or a mom with a kid with diabetes. I don't know what the answer is, but yeah. We just tried to take it step by step, but she was a very active girl. When she first started wanting to go back to play softball, we were like, okay, here we go. We have to figure this out because we promised her there wouldn't be anything she couldn't do. I watch her on the field, she plays first base, and I'll be watching her, and if I think something doesn't look right, I'm wondering, is she okay? Do I need to say, time out, coach? Something's not right. We need to check her blood sugars. It is so hard as a parent to have your child diagnosed with any disease, I'm sure. This is the only one that I can relate to, and just imagine if it was your child.
I just felt a connection with him that I just knew that this is what I was meant to be. I was meant to be a mother, and I was meant to be a mother to this child. When Ethan was first diagnosed with diabetes, I was devastated. My greatest fear for Ethan was that my husband and I wouldn't know what to do when we brought him home. This poor child was going to be worse off for having us as parents because we just wouldn't know what to do. I will admit that there's times, and especially when Ethan was growing up, that I would be very jealous of my friends who had kids who were quote-unquote normal. He sometimes gets really low, and as any parent of a diabetic knows, that is very scary. And there's times he can't help himself and he calls out to me. What if he is away from me and he calls out and no one hears him? Be very thankful if you have a child that doesn't have needs and is healthy, because it's something that I think you would take for granted if you realize one day that it wasn't that way.
Hi, my name is Ethan Smith, and I was diagnosed when I was 18 months old. My wish is for a world where I can sleep through the night without any fear.
Growing up, I can remember my dad going into shock and me having to get juice when he was coherent, or actually I had to shoot him once with the needle. And it was just the fear of not knowing and not being able to handle it. And so when my daughter was diagnosed, it was a very traumatic thing for me. I see her crying as one of my dad. I just couldn't believe I didn't realize that she's a diabetic. It took going to a hospital to realize. Because like I said, I grew up with it, I knew all the signs, and yet I didn't even see it in my own daughter. With my dad, it was a very inside thing, nobody really knew, and you had no one to talk to about it, you just dealt with it. Whereas JDRF, they have so many programs and so many things going on that get us together, get my daughter together with other diabetic kids. The support that they offer is phenomenal. My dad didn't live the life that he should have with diabetes, whereas now we try to make sure Savannah gets the proper treatments and sees the doctors and tries to follow the guidelines so that way she can extend her life and that she should have a long life. And hopefully there's a cure and we don't have to worry about it. So.
I am Savannah Prayer. I was diagnosed when I was 3. My wish is a world where no one loses someone they love because of type 1 diabetes.
They just came home from a week at Disneyland, and our daughters are so close, and we're so close that the day they got back, we're so eager to see each other. We were sitting at my kitchen table, and she said, we had a wonderful time, but that Hallie just kept drinking and peeing the whole time. And I thought, like I said, this little light bulb went off, and I said, I've heard a lot about drinking and peeing. going to do all her blood sugar. And I said, let's just check your blood sugar, Allie. Let's just, give it a try. And we did. And it was, I saw the number, I thought the meter was broken.
For the longest time, she kept telling me, I feel so guilty. I feel like, here I am the one telling you your daughter has this disease. And I kept telling her, but you need to give it to her. You were there. Thank God you had a meter.
I was scared to death that there was something wrong with this kid. She just, of all people. So it's scary and nauseating, and it's why, and it's questions. Then you honestly say, why not my daughter? And why not my daughter? Why Allie? Why did she fall over the other?
I know if she could, she would wave her magic wand and cure that child.
I couldn't handle it.
Yes, she could.
I couldn't handle it.
Yes, she could. She's one of the strongest people I know. Yes, she could. She could handle it. But thank God she doesn't have to.
My name is Callie Albier, and I was diagnosed at the age of 14. My wish is for a world where a singular injection can maintain tight blood sugars and counting carbs was not really useful.
I remember, the day he was diagnosed like it was yesterday. It's a shock. It's a heartbreak. It's, it's right out of left field. We all hung out together for those nights in the hospital and sat by his side all night long. I started learning more and more about the disease, and it's very confining finding out that there really is, at the moment, that there is no cure. A lot of times, I'll have irrational thoughts about, if I could trade places with him, I gladly would. I would gladly take the diabetes if I could. And I think about, my carefree, perfect little childhood and how it would have been impacted if I were diagnosed when I was 7. In Riley's case, he is unbelievably brave. In 2009, he was selected by JDRF International to attend as a Nevada delegate to what's called the Children's Congress, where he got to go back and meet with other people who go up to the Hill and lobby once every other year for diabetes funding. Riley actually got to spend a long time with Sugar Ray Leonard one day while we were waiting to see one of our senators puts a face on, the terrible disease, and people get to see how well these kids can live with diabetes and what kind of an impact JDRF makes on their life. Does it make me proud? Beyond words.
I was diagnosed when I was 7. My wish is for a world without shots, without checking your blood sugar, without card counting, without diabetes.